19話の終わりにて、サーザバで怪しげな動きがあることについて調査を任されたヘンリー、神の手の中でというクエストで助けたトーマスという人に尋ねることにしたよ。
Oh, that's you.
How are you doing? Feeling better yet?
Aye, much better. I'm truly grateful. A bit longer and I'll be able to run back to the woods and carry on. Well, never mind. Very kind of you to look in on me.
Truth be told, I didn't come just for your health.
What do you need?
Well, I've heard tell there's work for fearless men who enjoy a bit of silver.
Ah, I believe I can help you with that. They used to frequent the tavern, but now they meet in the church.
The church?
Aye, that's right. The church is locked at night, but if you see a light, the door will be open. Go in there and wait. Say a prayer or something, and then you'll see.
That's it? I don't need to speak to anyone?
Just doing what I told you is enough. They'll give you a good look over and see if you've got the metal. Don't you worry about that.
All right, thank you.
You took care of me, why wouldn't I help you? Tit for tat, eh?
Goodbye.
夜に教会で祈りを捧げていたらええんやな。21時では何も起きなかったので、24時に時間経過させてみたよ。お、使用ってコマンドが利用できるようになっとる。
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in
Amen.
heaven. What?
So, you've been looking for us, eh? What is it you want?
怖いお兄さんに囲まれました。
I hear you're hiring men who don't mind getting their hands dirty.
Is that so? And where did you hear that?
Taverns and the like? People talk?
Well, that's a pretty tale. But no one in any tavern told you to come here and wait, did they? So let's have it. Who told you?
一応、粉引きのサイモンにも聞いたんやけど、似たようなこと言ってた。誰から聞いたかは伏せておこうかな。
I don't recall his name, but he was one of your friends. He said that he couldn't take me straight to you, that I had to go through the church.
He was right about that. But he still said more than he should have.
I know my way around. You won't go wrong with me.
Spare me the boasting. I've got a test ready for you. Let's see how you handle it before you tell us how wonderful you are.
What test?
Nothing complicated. We used to take anyone who looked like they could keep their head on straight. But not now. Now you can only join if you do what we tell you.
Which is what? Steal something?
Nah, not theft. If you want to join us, you have to kill Pius.
パイオス。そういえば、ノイホフ襲撃の一件から、一人だけまだ出会ってない奴がおったな。
You don't need to find him. We know where he is.
Then why haven't you killed him yourselves?
It's quite a test. He's hiding in a monastery.
With the stable boys? It's not hard to get into the grounds.
No, not there. I would have been dead long since. He's in the, cloister, or whatever it is.
But only monks can get in there.
Just monks and Pius. He's an educated bastard. Seems he used to be a priest, but it didn't quite work out.
Who's Pius? And why should I kill him?
That's none of your business. But I'll tell you anyway, because it's an instructive tale. Pius was one of us, but he fucked up.
How? Did he steal something?
Yeah, that was part of it. Stole some money, ran away. A few boys died over it. Showed a distinct lack of loyalty. And as soon as he's dead, you can join us.
ルボシュ、ハイヌク、ティミー、そして祈り屋のパイオス。パイオスは修道院に潜んでいて、彼を始末しろと言われているね。ネクロノミコンとかいう書物を盗み出すために、うちらはすでに一度修道院へ忍び込んだことがある。確かサイドクエストやったから入手シーン以外をカットしてしもたが、メインストーリーでも訪れることになったんだね。
Supposed to join the monastery soon. Might be he could help you somehow. I'd try talking to him if I were you. And if he doesn't help, knock him on his ass. and take anything he's got that you could use to pass yourself off as him. A letter of admittance to the monastery, or whatever.
Murder someone in a monastery? Have you gone mad?
Murder's a sin as it is. Doesn't really matter where you do it.
Yes, it does. I'd be spilling blood on hallowed ground.
Well then, knock him senseless, drag him outside, and finish him off where it's less sacred. I don't give a damn where you do it, just as long as he ends up dead.
How will I recognize Pius?
He won't have been there long. He should be the only new one there.
But what if there are others? What does he look like?
Normal? He always went about well dressed and had a fine looking dagger.
Yes, except he'll be given a robe and they'll take his knife.
Then you'll have to try and figure out which one of the novices it is, and get him to betray himself. Try getting him drunk. Then send him straight to hell.
Get him drunk? In a monastery?
Where better? There's more wine there than in the royal cellars, and I doubt he suddenly stopped drinking.
And do you have any other test?
We're not hiring stable boys. We want men who are prepared to do anything. And this is the toughest task we've got.
So how many men have you already sent?
Just a handful.
And what happened to them? Did they hang?
Just the first one. The others turned tail. Guess they didn't have the stomach for it.
Fine. So I've got to kill Pius. He's in the cloister, and to get into the cloister, I'll need to enlist the help of some boy who's joining the order, right?
More or less. And now the main thing.
The main thing is to kill him, isn't it?
Of course. But that's not all. All hell's gonna break loose in the monastery after the murder. So, either make sure nobody finds him, or hightail it out of there quick as soon as the job's done. But better if they don't find him right away.
And what else? Should I come back here afterwards?
No. Before you run for it, take his special dice and bring it as proof that you killed him. And if you can get him to tell you where he hid the coin, bring that as well.
Bring his dice and the money if I find it. And where should I bring it?
From the monastery, head east across the river. There'll be a swamp where you'll find a fire pit. Go there at night and light a fire. Make it nice and big and we'll show up. Take the dice and the money, and then tell you where to report. Got it?
Right, I'm to slip into the best guarded place in the entire region and kill someone. Take his dice and money, and then go to the swamp and wait by the fire.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Well, you can at least say a few Hail Marys for me. I'm gonna need all the help I can get.
And remember, we'll be keeping tabs. So don't you try to run off, alright? Take care.
まず、バイオスは、修道院に入って、間もない新入りであること。豪華なナイフを持っている。そしてお金を隠していて、始末したことが証明できるように、彼のサイコロを入手する。修道院へ潜入するために、近々修道院へ入ろうとしている人物を探しに、酒場へ行くことになるね。入所許可証とやらを手に入れんとあかんのやな。修道院へ入ろうとしている若者の名前はカールというらしい。この人やね。
God save you, good night. What can I do for you?
Are you Carl by any chance?
I am. Why do you ask?
I've heard that you're bound for the monastery.
Yes, it's true. But I've convinced my faithful guardian, Manfred, to give me a few more days of freedom. Mind you, he won't let me visit the brothel, so instead I'm devoting those days to the demon drink. With whom do I have the honor of speaking?
My name is Henry.
Pleased to meet you, Henry.
Could we speak in private? I have some, issues with the monastery.
Really? Well, I'd love to talk about it, but we won't have privacy as long as Manfred here has his head permanently stuck up my arse. get rid of him for me,
めっちゃ
please.
隣でその提案を聞いてるけどええんか？聞こえてるぞって顔してる。
I'm honored that a knight such as you takes an interest in me.
You're Manfred, the young Lord's guardian?
Indeed I am. Why?
さて、カールから引き離すにはどうしたらいいか。ヘンリーのスピーチ能力は圧倒的に差があるから、お酒を勧めてみるかな。
You must have a mighty thirst. Waiting here with him for days, just watching him get drunk, and not having a sip yourself.
There's no doubt I'd enjoy a drink. Heaven knows I deserve it. But if I dull my senses in the slightest, that rogue will surely get up to mischief.
So let's drink together. And if you start to feel unwell, I'll keep an eye on him. Like you said, you deserve some fun.
I can see you're a reliable lad. So what shall we have to drink? And while we're at it, why not have a little game? Goodbye. Why,
Ara,
oh, why did I
masaka no
ever
dice.
agree to this? I'll lose my shirt again.
なんか、それっぽい効果がありそうなパークを持っているからか、簡単にいい目が出て勝ててしまう。
Fucked again. I've had
Service is a bit
enough.
slow here today. You said you wouldn't drink today.
Silence. I'm going to sleep. Here's a few coins. Have fun. Tomorrow, we're going to the monastery. Is that clear?
Couldn't you give me more? This isn't even enough for a toothless whore.
It's enough for beer. Good night.
うまくお酒を飲ませて追い払うことができたね。さて、本来の目的を果たさんと。
Manfred's taken care of, just as you wanted.
Thank God. He won't let me out of his sight for a second, and he's itching to get me in the monastery so he can head back home.
Why are you being sent to the monastery?
Like every lusty young lad, I'm fond of fair maidens, but I got too fond of one, and let's just say she was, indisposed for 9 months.
But they don't send you to the monastery for that.
They do, when it's the daughter of the Lord of your feet.
Shit.
Shit is putting it mildly. The Lord of Bookover was less than pleased. He knows he'll never marry off his daughter now, so he gave father a choice. Either pay him 1,000 groschen in compensation, along with my balls on a silver platter, or pay 1,000 groschen and put me away somewhere no one will ever see me again.
Why does your guardian never leave your side?
So I don't run away. Of course, I'm free to walk around, but he watches every step I take and won't stop until I'm behind the monastery walls.
Well, he's not watching you now.
What good is that to me when he has all the money, and even my saddle and riding cloak under lock and key?
Why don't you just run away?
Bare-arsed? What the hell would I do? I don't know how to work, I have no money, and that old bastard's even taken my cloak. He has me in the palm of his hand.
But there are poor people everywhere and they get by somehow.
If I have to choose between hunger and poverty on one hand and the monastic life on the other, I'm afraid the monastery wins. If I could only steal that old man's pouch, I'd be gone faster than lightning and no one would ever see me again.
What if I entered the monastery instead of you?
What? Voluntarily? You don't look like someone who'd want to spend the rest of his days on his knees praying. But that's your problem. You can only enter the monastery if you know how to read and write, and if you have a special writ from the abbot. That's a letter confirming they know who you are and that they've accepted you.
So you give me your writ? I'll just tell them I'm you.
Manfred has the writ. You'd have to take it from him, but he only puts it down when he sleeps.
So I'll steal it and then you can disappear.
Disappear?
お目付け役から、カールが逃げ出すお金と許可証を盗めばええんやね。ちょうどお酒を飲ませたことで寝ちゃってるみたい。箱に保管していないか。であれば、処置したまま寝てるっぽいから、スリやな。おし、うまくいった。 修道院の受付係に会いに行く。その前に逃走資金を渡してあげる。
Excellent. Give me the purse. You can do as you like with the ring.
Please bring me something to eat. Here you are.
Good luck, no matter what you plan on doing with those monks. Best be on your way now before Manfred finds out that he's been robbed.
I'm Carl. I'm supposed to enter as a novice.
We expected you sooner. Weren't you supposed to come here with your guardian? It's been so hectic lately, people will keep turning up out of the blue.
怪しまれておる。うまく説得しないと。
He gave me the papers and left me at the gate. You must be used to that, though. I'm not the first novice here, am I?
But that wasn't very considerate of him, was it? It's been so hectic here lately, novices arriving one after the other. The last one didn't even have a letter, and you'd think his backside was on
追っ
fire.
てから逃げてい
Where
る
you
パイ
keep
オスのこ
looking
とや
over
な。
his shoulder.
最後に修道院へ入ったわけね。
You didn't find that suspicious?
My guess is he wanted to hide from someone. But he's a priest and knows how things work in the monastery. So there was nothing to prevent him from being accepted, at least temporarily. You're a different case, though. Are you able to read?
Naturally. I wouldn't be here otherwise.
So then, are you ready to enter the Order of Saint Benedict and renounce forever the temptations of this world?
I am.
Then you must rid yourself of all your worldly possessions. Sell them or give them to the poor and needy or donate them to the monastery. You may not enter this place burdened by worldly goods. Inside the gatehouse is a trunk in which you will find monk's robes. Put away all your possessions and dress yourself in the habit. Then you may rest a while I go and see the prior to arrange matters for your acceptance. God be with you.
全部持ち物処分するってこと？いや、あくまでも一時的な保管みたいだよ。ゲーム設定上はね。そうよな。全部処分とか焦った。
Strange feeling being without all of that. I didn't realize how much I'd grown used to it.
Everything's prepared. It's time for you to take your vows.
Do I really have to wear this?
You'd better get used to it. You'll be wearing it for the rest of your life.
Brothers in Christ, we have gathered here today to welcome a new novice into our midst. Dear brother, forget your former life and embrace your new vocation in the community of the monks of St. Benedict. Opus Dei, obedientia, obprobria, the service of God, obedience, and endurance of all discomfort. These are the cornerstones and succor of our order, which on this day shall become your own. Suscipe me, Domine, secundum eloquium tuum, et vivam, et non confundas me ab expectatione mea.
Suscipe me, Domine, secundum in loquium tuum vivam, et non confundas me ab expectatione me.
Accept your new name, Brother Gregor, and wear it with honor. Welcome, brother.
ヘンリーの歌を聴いてる人の表情が面白かった。何の練習もなく、飛び入り参加であまりにも不審すぎる。
Welcome, brother. I am Antonius, a novice like you. I've been instructed to guide you around the monastery and tell you what you can expect and what your duties will be.
隣で助けてくれた人やな。
Thanks for helping me out during the ceremony. I had no idea what I was supposed to do.
You don't know Latin, do you? Don't worry. Work in the scriptorium will teach you fast enough. Why exactly are you here? Was it your choice? Or did someone force you to come?
殺人をしに、って言えるわけがない。バイオスが誰かを探らないといけないね。で、バイオスは追ってから流れるために潜んでいるから、ヘンリーが探りを入れているということも相手にバレてはいけない。怪しまれないようにせんとな。
I'm being punished. If it were up to me, I'd still be spending my days in taverns and my nights with whores.
I don't envy you. Unfortunately, you're here for the rest of your life.
Would you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a novice and I'm here because I'd make a poor merchant. I like books and I want an education. Although I must say, so far the monastic life's been quite unexpected.
Let's go then.
Good. But before we do, here's a letter directly from the prior telling you all your regular duties from tomorrow onwards. Make sure to read it this evening, so you know how things work. Right, we can go now.
修練士アントニウス、バイオスは白いローブの4人の中の誰かだね。
Remember one word, discipline. It's your job to work and pray. You serve the Lord now, not your own bodily needs.
過去に侵入した時は夜で真っ暗やったから、案内されて堂々と歩くのは初めてや。
Salve Domine. This is the way to the dormitory, where we all sleep. You'll find a free bed there, which is now yours. Do you know the first thing the monastery taught me? To appreciate sleep. We rise before dawn every day. Takes a bit of getting used to.
新入りです。よろしくお願いします。どうも、失礼します。
This is the garden, a place for silent contemplation and meditation. Centuries ago, this monastery was founded by the most esteemed of brothers, Saint Procopius. His earthly remains can be found in a cave under the monastery, and his spirit wanders the corridors at night, punishing any misbehaving novices. So beware. Here are the frattery and scriptorium, together with the library. These are the places where we work. Ora et labora. Pray and work. As a novice, you must always listen to your superior brethren. And above us monks are the prior and the cicatas, who punish every infraction. You'll know them by the canes they carry. Do what they say. This is the refectory, where we come together to eat. During meals, you must be silent. Only one brother reads aloud from the Rule of Saint Benedict.
The rule is the only law we recognize, with the exception of those from God himself. If you break any of its precepts, expect a swift punishment. But I've already told you about...
the library, the pride of our monastery. A trove
あの
of
奥に
learning.
少し見えてる棚に保管されてた書物を盗み取ったんよ。
We also copy them. You too will learn how. And that's all. Today you are still free from duty. But tomorrow you begin work like the others. If you need anything, ask any of the brothers. We'll be glad to help you. And I recommend you get to know the other novices. You already know me. Then there is Siskin, Yodok, and Lucas.
Thanks for showing me around. There's a lot to learn here.
シスキン、ヨドク、ルーカス、そしてアントニウスが修練士ね。パイオスを探している話をするって選択肢があるけど、聞いた相手がパイオスだったら大変だ。まだまだ自然に振る舞わなくちゃいけない。少しずつ情報を探っていこう。
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's not much to tell. I lived in Vlashim, and after my father died, I found out I wasn't much of a merchant. So I left the shop to my brother, and decided to become a monk. It's peaceful here. There's food and lots of time to read.
So you chose to come here?
It may seem strange, but I'm one of the few novices that did. I might be the only one. The truth is, the idea of spending my life in a monastery was more appealing than being cooped up in a greasy old shop.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery. Who's in charge of things around here?
Truthfully, everyone except us. But officially, Abbot Peter. And soon enough, someone else. As if it mattered. Our life will still be work and prayer.
I see. Are there any rifts between the brothers?
Yes. From the moment talk began about electing a new abbot, it's been like a hornet's nest here. Strange you haven't noticed.
Tell me something about electing the abbot.
Abbot Peter is old. When he dies, they'll have to select a new abbot from amongst the brethren. The candidates are John and Nevlas. And if you ask me for my opinion, Nevlas is definitely the right man. Unfortunately, no one cares about my opinion because novices get no say.
Tell me something about life here.
Work, prayer, as if you didn't know. We serve God, and that's the central truth of our lives.
What are the roles of the various monks here?
Someone takes care of the library, someone else the garden. The abbot supervises everyone, and in his absence, the prior. But it's the circators you should worry about. They're the brothers who'll make sure we observe the rule. They can be quite strict, so if you want to avoid getting punished, always act righteously and do your duties honestly.
This John, who is he?
A circator, and really just an unpleasant old man. It's mostly the older brothers on his side, because they believe he'll protect the status quo and all the benefits that come with long service here.
Tell me something about Nevlas.
Nevlas manages the monastery's property. He's what they call the provost. He'd like to bring back solemnity to the monastery through reform and by returning to pure faith. A lovely idea, but most of the monks are against it.
Why can't novices vote?
They say we don't have enough experience to decide about anything. Don't worry, we'll get our chance.
Why is who wins so important?
We're young and we'll spend the rest of our lives here. And the abbot decides everything about our lives. Didn't it ever occur to you how powerful he is?
これか、日課が書かれてあるスケジュール帳。うへえ、時間がきっちり決められていて、その通り行動しないとあかんみたいや。こんなん覚えとられんし、現代の技術を使って撮影して読むようにしたで。あ、修練士だ。ヨドクさんね。
Greetings, brother. I'm Gregor, and I'm new here.
Greetings to you, brother. I'm Yodok, the oldest of the novices. I hope you'll like it here in the monastery and that you won't get into trouble.
Trouble?
You're young, perhaps intemperate. You might easily stray from the rules of the order. I suggest you get to know the older monks. You never know when it might come in handy.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
I would if there was anything noteworthy to say. But I'm just the ordinary son of a landowner, now a monk. There's nothing in my past, present, or future that anyone could find interesting.
Why did you join the monastery?
Because it was better than living in poverty. As the youngest son, I'm not entitled to inherit my father's estate, but he was kind enough to sell off some cattle and send me here. And you know what? I'm glad to be here. It's better than mucking out manure.
とりあえず、初日はアントニウス、ヨドクと当たり障り内容を話して次の日を迎えた。午前3時に起床とあったけど、午前4時のミサまでは特に動き出す必要もなかったようで、帝国になると教会へ行くように促されたよ。逆に促されるまでに先んじて次の場所へ移動しようとしても、今の時間はあなたはここにいるべきじゃないはずだ。と怒られてしまう。うちは試されているのか？
Praise be to our Lord Jesus.
ぞろぞろと移動する修道士、修練士たちについていく。うちらにはこういう宗教的集会のような習慣がないもんやから、どうしたらええんかわかんない。しばらくみんなの様子眺めとったけど、歌が終わって静かになった。あの遠吠えはマットやな。うちはここにおるよ。この静寂で口笛吹く勇気。修道院には入れてもらえないけど、お外で待っているんだね。おいで。どうかしてるぜ。パイオスに怪しまれるどころか、やばいやつやと思われてるやろな。祈ってる人たちに怒られる。アメン。怒られろ。どないしましょ。次の行動時間まで待機とか。それだ。やっと移動を始めた。ヘンリーの移動しても良い時間は、少し他の人より差があるんだね。朝食だ。
That if the spirit of silence ought to lead us at times to refrain even from good speech, so much the more ought the punishment for sin make us avoid evil words. Therefore, since the spirit of silence is so important, permission to speak should rarely be granted even to perfect disciples, even though it be for good, holy,
クエストマーカー的に、この場所がヘンリーの座席なんかな。
In much speaking, you will not escape sin. And in another place, death and life are in the power of the tongue. For speaking and teaching belong to the master. The disciples' part is to be silent and peaceful.
食べ始めた。
For that reason, if anything is to be asked of the superior, it should be asked with all the humility.
I'm Gregor and I'm new here.
Inspired by
I know. I saw you in the church during ceremony. I have the feeling we'll be meeting again soon, and often. You see, I'm the circator.
What does that mean?
such conversation we do
I make sure everyone observes the rule, does their work, and that everything's the way it should be.
When it's not the way it should be?
Then we're authorized to mete out punishment. But certainly you won't require correction, will you, brother?
be occupied at certain times in manual labor.
I'd like to ask you something about the monastery.
Sacred reading. To that end, we think that the times for each may be
Are there ever any disagreements between the brothers?
Unfortunately, yes. The biggest quarrels right now are about the election of the new...
I understand. Who would you like to...
John, definitely. Compared...
いや、 なんか違う。だいたい、他の修道士も似たようなこと言ってるんやけど。うちが知りたいんは選
What do
挙
you desire, brother
のこと
Gregor?
やないんよ。
I'd like to ask... Who would you...
John.
修練士と会話すべきなのかな。
What is it, brother? I'm interested in the other novices.
あ、いや、聞いてええんか？わからん。
Listen, brother. Is there anyone in the monastery who can help me get hold of something... well, something that's not so readily available?
Supposing, of course, just hypothetically, you wanted to get something like that, I'd turn to Brother Celerius. They say he used to be a burglar, but you didn't hear it from me.
ほう、セラリウスさんを見かけたら話してみようかな。次の時間は作業室での作業らしい。担当はネブラスさん。作業をしないといけないよ。
I'm Gregor, a novice.
I know. I saw you at the ceremony. My name is Nebulus, and I'm the provost here. I'm in charge of the monastery's property, as well as handling trade with the outside world.
Can you tell me about Abbot Peter?
Peter's wise in the ways of politics and a good shepherd, but as you've already heard, he's old and infirm. The other brothers see him with one foot in the grave, but I still have hope for him. But you, brother, don't let yourself get involved in the games of your superiors. Could you help me with something?
With what?
I'm interested in medicine, and I know there's a cure for the abbot's ailment. With your help, I could find out the details, and together you and I could give old Peter a few more years to do good. What do you say?
You can count on my help. What do you need me to do?
In order to get the recipe for this medicament, a few rules will need to be broken. Now you know most of the brothers believe every illness is a message from God, and that it's not our place to deny his will. I, however, think if God sent us not just illnesses, but also the medicine to cure them, then it's our duty to relieve people of their suffering. The cure for Abbot Peter's illness could be contained in one of the books in our library, but it will certainly be amongst the Libri Prohibiti, the forbidden books, those we aren't permitted to read.
あ、過去に侵入した時に、その本も懐にしまい込んだかもしれん。
Because
禁
they
書だったん
contain
だ。
occult and demonic practices.
やっぱりこれや。本来なら、修道院に訪れて、中で、ロックピックをなんとかゲットして、監視の目をかいくぐって、自由時間や睡眠時間なんかで盗まなくちゃいけなかったんやな。
Gregor,
これはサイドクエストだけど、もう手に入れちゃってるね。持ってくるよう頼まれて、一歩も動いてないのに、これですって差し出すのはどうなんだ。
Amazing. This really is it. Now I can use it to prepare a cure for our suffering abbot. Then I'll leave it in the library to make it seem as if Brother Librarian left it lying about. There'll be no investigation. It would be against his best interests, as he'll look like the one who wasn't taking proper care of the books. It will drive him mad. I didn't leave that book out, or did I? Is there anything I can do for you in return?
お、いいね。サイドクエストをクリアすることによって、目的のヒントが得られる形式なんかな。経歴を知れたら何かがわかるかもしれない。
In finding out the background of the other novices.
That's a strange wish you have. And the only ones who know everything about the novices are the abbot and the prior. They keep a record of every monk in the abbot's book, but you'll never get your hands on it. It's locked up in the prior's study.
Thanks. You've helped me immensely.
No, thank you. About that book, don't even think about breaking in to get it.
ネブラスは何も知らんけど、院長の名簿。で、それがわかるみたいやな。
I'm here to work.
Excellent. I've been waiting for you. There's the alchemist's laboratory. You'll find ingredients in the chests next to it. Today it's your task to concoct 2 potions to aid digestion. Once you finish them, you'll find me somewhere nearby. Don't forget to let me know when you're done so I can check them.
作業もしっかりやらんと、サボったらペナルティが課せられるらしいわ。錬金台が置いてあるね。この箱は、毎日ハーブが補充されて、ポーション作るトレーニングにええかもしれんね。あとは、ページ集めるサブクエストなんかもあるみたいや。錬金はもうご紹介したからカットした。
What do you desire, Brother Gregor?
I've finished my work.
Show me what you've made. Spectacular, Gregor. You've found your talent. Soon enough, you'll be teaching the other novices.
次は、12時から図書室で作業。だからって、12時になる前に図書室に移動することができないんよな。厳しい。移動するのも怒られないかドキドキ。図書室は食堂の2階部分。
Brother? What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be working somewhere? Idle hands are the devil's
いや、
workshop.
うちは、その作業に向かっていたんだが。
I had other affairs that needed to be attended to immediately. It will never happen again.
Really? Fine then. This time I will forgive you. But next time you'll be punished just like everyone else.
納得いかねえ。この階段の上やで。食堂通り抜けようとしただけで怒られるなんて。まあこれくらいの失敗ならイエローカードみたいなもんだし、一発レッドカード対象となってしまう行動もあるようで、規則を守り、犯罪行為はもってのほか、修道院に馴染むように気をつけないとだ。
What would you like?
Is it possible to learn something about the other novices in the library?
Only the abbot and the prior keep such records.
And can I see them?
No. The abbot writes and keeps his records in his chambers, and only he and the prior are permitted to read them.
I found this piece of parchment. It looks like it's been ripped out of a book. Do you know what it is?
It appears to be a page torn out of Ovid.
Ovid? What is that? Is it the name of a book?
Not what, but who? Ovid was a great Roman poet. We have a few volumes by him in the library, but one of them vanished one day. Now I believe I can guess what happened. Brother Eustace, may the earth rest lightly on him, was quite narrow-minded when it came to classical literature. If a book had any mention of woman at all, he condemned it as a heretical work. If he'd had his way, all such books would have been burned. Ovid's The Art of Love must have been such a thorn in his side that he stole it from the library, tore it up, and hid the pages wherever he could.
Oh, would you like me to put the book back together again?
Absolutely. Eustace's wits weren't the sharpest, so I'm sure he didn't destroy any of the pages. I imagine he hid them throughout the monastery. It might take you a while to find them all, but when you do, you can rest assured Ovid will return to his rightful place in the library.
Good. I'll look around for it.
Thank you, brother. It's of no great importance, but if you can find all 10 pages, I'll be most grateful.
The forbidden books must be in that cabinet.
いや、もう盗んだやろ。この作業、全くわからんかったんやけど、有志の方々が作ってくれている日本語化だと、正解が表示されている。きっと、単語の文字自体がちぐはぐになっているから、外れの選択肢の文は意味をなしていないのだろうと予想したよ。と、思っていたのだけど、1問目の文末にはハテナがついていたので、問題自体に不備がある可能性がある様子だったよ。というのも、初めてこの作業をした初回だけ違う。って怒られちゃったからな。以降は、同じやり方で毎回素晴らしいと褒められたので、運悪く、そういう問題が提起されてしまったのだろうと思っている。 16時からは夜飲みさ。終わったら夕食。みんな黙々と食事しているのに、ヘンリーだけ席を立ったり、他の人と話したりしている。食事時間がみんな集まっているから会話のチャンスやね。あ、目の前に座ってるのセラリウスやん。
Praise be to Christ, brother.
I'm looking for something a little, unorthodox.
And what would that be exactly?
I'm looking for lockpicks.
Lockpicks? And what would you like those for?
I'd like to practice opening locks, just for the fun of it.
Well, why not? So you heard I used to be a burglar, did you? I put it all behind me as soon as I took the vows. But I do have a few lockpicks left. I'll trade them for food. Get me a bite to eat, and you can have your lockpicks. Can't say fairer than that, can I?
お金なんて預けてきたからないな。あ、食べ物と言ってはいたけど、作業時の素材でいくつか作ったポーションが売れるみたいや。トレーニングのつもりだったけど、うまく入手できたね。まあ、金貨はもう手に入れてあって私を得てるんやけどな。でも、これがあれば、ロックピック技術を高めてるヘンリーは、普通に修道院の外出れるわ。
A novice. I saw you at the ceremony.
I know. It was hard not to notice you.
And you are?
Lucas, also a novice. Don't get upset, but I don't want to talk to you. I'm happiest alone.
I'd like to know something about the other novices.
I don't know much, but ask away.
会話の済んだ他の修練士について尋ねることができるよう
Do you
に
know
なるの
anything
ね。
about your dog?
I don't. He doesn't like me, and he's on very friendly terms with the Circators. That's about it.
Tell me about Antonius.
I'd like to, but there's nothing to tell. I've never spoken to him. I've never asked about him.
You really don't know anything about anyone? Well, thanks anyway.
Don't get upset. I'm sorry I can't tell you more. I just haven't felt like getting to know anyone yet.
ルーカスはあまり話したがらないみたいや。
Will you tell me something about yourself?
There's nothing I can tell you.
I mean, where you're from, what sort of life you had before, that sort of thing.
I'm a novice, and my monastic name is Lucas. Nothing else matters.
Come on. Is there really nothing at all you can tell me?
I could, but I don't want to. I'm sorry. I want to stay focused on work and prayer, not on who I once was. I never will be again. What has been isn't important for us. We cast the past aside when we walked through the monastery gates and took our oath. Never forget that.
怪しい。けどミスリード感もあるし。まだ、全然情報が足りてないね。
My name's Gregor, a novice.
You can call me Siskin. Are you here of your own free will, or is this a punishment? Although it's not important. Welcome to Purgatory.
Did you say purgatory?
You'll see soon enough. Soon enough.
Will you tell me something about yourself?
Look, nothing against you, but I prefer not to talk about my past.
深く突っ込んで良いものかとも思ってしまうし。
Very well. I won't ask.
このクエスト難しいな。
I appreciate it.
とりあえず、修練士4人とは顔合わせができたね。
I'd be interested to hear what you think about the other novices. Tell me about Antonius.
Oh, if there was a monk I'd recommend as a friend, with of course the exception of myself, it would be Antonius. He has a calm soul, he's easy to talk to, and you can always rely
最
on
初
him.
に助けてくれたのもそうやしな。
I'm interested in Yodok.
What could interest you about him? He's a no-good rat. He'll turn you in for the price of a turnip. I'd bet my life that if he wasn't here, he'd be a human scat, bowing and scraping for a few groschen.
That doesn't sound too flattering.
It wasn't meant to. No matter what you do here, watch out for him. He's got his eye on everyone, and he'll rat on you for even the slightest of infraction.
予読はチクリマってことか。
What can you tell me about Lucas?
It's a tricky situation with Lucas. No one really knows anything about him. I've tried so many times to talk to him, but he always backs away like a virgin on a wedding night.
That's all. Thanks.
さあ、ヘンリーの時間だ。夜は皆が寝静まっていて、実質ヘンリーの自由時間。もちろん、起きている人がいたとしたら見つかるとダメだろうけどね。宝箱発見。先ほど手に入れておいたロックピックがあれば、どんな高難易度のロックでも解除できちゃうのだぜ。そう、ヘンリーならね。
What do we have here?
おいお
A
い、
nice sharp dagger.
なんで、修道院にダガーが持ち込まれているんや。この箱の中身の持ち主はアントニウスだと？あの根節丁寧に案内までしてくれたやつがバイオスなのか？箱を挟んで、反対側の人はノーネームだから、十中八九、ダガーはアントニウスのものだね。一気に印象として黒になったな。せやけど、それだけで確定してええものかどうか。お金をどこに隠しているか。そして、彼がサイコロを持っているのか。もしかしたら、アントニウスにスリを実行したら、一発でわかるんかもしれへん。でも、サイドクエストもやっておきたいから、調査を続けていくで。特に目を引くものがなし。教会の祭壇の裏にロックピック置いてあるんだが、もし、これに先に気づいていたら、人から買う必要すらなかったんだね。素材が少し揃っていたから、セーブ用のアイテムを夜な夜な調合した。これさえあれば、下手をして追い出されてしまうことについて回避可能や。
What have we here? That's it. The book with information about the novices.
これか？暗すぎて読めねえ。後でゆっくり読むか。暗号文のようなものが書かれてある。まあ読んでもさっぱりわかんないわけだが、聖堂、積んだ木材、門、橋、川床、そして茂みの中、信仰の証という何かが隠されている場所を指し示しているらしい。初めて侵入した時の入り口として利用した地下にやってきた。ここら辺は一度通ってるから、何があるかは大体わかっている。はずだった。
You've seen us drinking here, so either join in or swear you won't tell a soul. You wouldn't want to end up like Lucas now, would you?
人に見つかってしまった。と思ったらお酒の誘い？
All right. I wouldn't mind some wine.
That's more like it. Sit down and have a drink, my lad.
おい巡視係。この人ら地下で夜中に酒飲んでるよ。
What are you doing here?
What does it look like? Drinking.
But we're all monks.
Youngster, when you're as old as I, you'll understand.
禁欲生活だよね。あかんやろ。誰かも言っていた。今の教会、修道院は腐敗しているって。
But you're the cicators. You're the ones meant to be keeping order here. How can gambling and drinking be a fitting part of a monk's life?
If you really want to know, see for yourself.
All right.
問題を指摘するのかと思ったら招待を受け入れた。ゴーに行ってはゴーに従えとも言いますやんか。青い忘れたらあかんのちゃうか。今はバイオスの情報を得るためにここにおるんや。 決してお酒飲みたかったわけじゃん。そうだね。もう一人の飲み相手は、次の修道院長候補者の一人、ジョンさんだね。年長修道士に、人気の保守派、巡視係のジョンか。この現場を目にしてしまったら、うちはネブラス派に傾いてしまったな。改革派、と言っても、本来あるべき教会に原点回帰するという意味の改革。国同士も、教皇も、修道院内までもが権力争いをしているってことだね。さんさん探索して、もうみんなが起きてくる時間や。急いでベッドに戻らんと。というわけで、修道院潜入クエストが終わらない。1日目はほとんど確たる情報が集められないまま、普通に修練士として過ごしてしまった。このメインクエスト、ほぼ会話ばかりということと、日中は規則通りに行動しなければならないこと、探索できるタイミングはいつも真っ暗なことと、かなり億劫な側面があるね。このストーリー中に派生するサイドクエストが複数あって、見てる方はもちろん、うちだって何をしてるのかさっぱりだから申し訳なさすぎる。次回で修道院潜入クエストが終わるように、約5時間超さまよった記録をまとめてみようと思うので、よろしければ続きもまたご覧になってください。2日目が始まりましたが、今回はここまで。ご視聴ありがとうございました。ほな、またね。